Hi everyone, it's Karen here, your neighbourhood witch, and today I'm going to be talking about Lammas and Lleu Law Gyffes. Hi everybody, bright blessings and thank you for joining me. As I'm getting ready to upload this video, I'm also getting ready to celebrate Lammas or Lughnasadh on August the 2nd. This is a picture of my altar from last year, and this year's altar is going to look very much the same. August the 2nd was my father's birthday, and my husband passed just after Lammas in 2020, so last year's celebration was a little bit emotional for me, and I particularly wanted to make a good job of it. Now, I am lucky enough to live near to a spiritual training centre, and a couple of weeks before Lammas, one of the mediums approached me and said, "I don't know what this means, but I've just been shown a stalk of wheat with 2 ears being placed in your lap." I thought, well, that is very interesting, because at the time I was wondering where to find some wheat to place on my altar for Lammas. I have to confess that I am not fond of gardening, and I don't spend very much time in my back garden at all. Better name for it is probably a wilderness or even a jungle. I think there are possibly lost tribes wandering around in there somewhere. Now, this time last year, the weather was quite nice. It was nice and sunny. So I ventured outside to do things like charging my crystals in the sunshine and hanging my washing out to dry. And one afternoon, I went out into my garden and I saw half a dozen stalks of wheat growing right there in front of me. And 2 of the stalks were so close together that it looked like one stalk with 2 heads, just has been described to me by the medium at the spiritual centre. Now, I did not plant that wheat. I don't know how it got there. I have no idea. But since my husband passed, there have been so many strange things that have happened. Maybe I'll tell you about them another time. But I know that he hasn't gone very far away from me, and this definitely felt like a gift from him to help me celebrate Lammas. So I did harvest the wheat in time for Lammas, and you can see it there on my altar. And when Lammas was over, I saved it and put it away, so I'm going to be using it again this year. Now, at Lammas, or Lughnasadh, we celebrate Lugh, the Irish god of light. I hope that's how you pronounce it. However, the Welsh counterpart is Lleu Law Gyffes, and he is commemorated on August the 1st. And I learnt about Lleu Law Gyffes in Welsh classes when I was in school, and I'd like to share some of his story with you. This is the story of the early life of Lleu Law Gyffes, the Lord of Gwynedd. Arianrhod, the mother of Llaw, rejected him, because his miraculous birth had proved to the world that she was not a virgin, as she had claimed. Her brother Gwydion took the boy and raised him. He grew up to be big and strong and handsome. Gwydion took the boy to visit Arianrhod, but when she was told he was her son, she was furious, because she was reminded of how ashamed she was. She declared a fate upon the boy. "He shall have no name until I give him one." Gwydion was a skilful magician, and by magic he made a boat. He disguised himself as a shoemaker and the boy as his apprentice, and they sailed to Arianrhod's land. There he made shoes of the finest leather, which he had created by magic from sedge plants. Of course, Arianrhod wanted a pair of these wonderful shoes, and she sent her lady to buy them. Gwydion sent her back a pair that were deliberately made too small. He sent back a next pair, were too big. Gwydion told Arianrhod that if she wanted the shoes to fit, he would have to measure her himself. So she had no choice but to come to his boat. Now, while Arianrhod was having her foot measured, a wren, a tiny little bird, landed on the prow of the boat. Quick as a flash, the boy threw a cobbler's needle and he caught the bird between the sinew and the bone of its leg. Now at this, Arianrhod exclaimed, "The fair-haired boy has a skilful hand." Gwynedd dropped the disguise and said, "You have given him his name. He is Lleu Law Gyffes, the fair one with the skilful hand." Arianrhod was enraged, possibly because she never got the shoes she'd been promised, and proclaimed another fate upon the boy. "He shall never wear armour unless I dress him in it with my own hands." Now this was serious because it meant Lleu could never be a warrior. Gwydion disguised himself and Lleu as travelling storytellers. Together they went to Arianrhod's castle, and there they spent an evening entertaining the residents with the most wonderful stories and songs and ballads. Now, towards the end of the evening, Gwydion once again used his magic, and this time he created an illusion, making it sound as if the castle were being attacked by a mighty marauding horde. Arianrhod was greatly afraid, and she sent for armour and weapons and begged Gwydion and Lleu to help defend the castle. Gwydion began to slowly put on his armour, and Lleu waited. Impatient, Arianrhod dressed Lleu in armour. And then Gwydion dropped the illusion, and Arianrhod realised that she had been tricked again. Beside herself with rage, she declared a third fate on the boy, that he should never have a wife from the human race. So Gwydion went to his uncle, Math ap Mathonwy, and together, by magic, they fashioned a woman from the flowers of the field, and they named her Blodeuwydd in Welsh meaning flowers. And she and Lleu were married, and in this way, Arianrhod was outmanoeuvred again. So that's the first part of the story of Lleu Law Gyffes. There is more to it, and if you want to find out about it, then by all means do go and look it up. It's quite a sad story in places, but it all comes right in the end. Thank you for staying with me, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, merry meet, merry part, and may you have a blessed day.